But let's talk boxing, because it's a really special day for the sport, with Amir Khan in action in Las Vegas, and live in Liverpool with us, Frank Warren, 30 years a boxing promoter, and a terrific night. Frank, good morning to you. Terrific night of boxing going on all evening into the night in Liverpool. I mean, it's a really special night with 11,000 fans. It's a good old-fashioned night of boxing, isn't it?
It is. Fantastic evening for the boxing fans. You've got 6 title fights in Liverpool, and then off to Vegas and see Amir Khan on the undercard in his defence of his title. So it don't get any better than that for the boxing fans.
Just looking on some of the weigh-ins from yesterday, we saw you right in the midst of it, Nathan Cleverly with his weigh-in against the Frenchman Najib Mohammadi. It's lovely to see some of these young up-and-coming British boxers with a big crowd, lots of attention on them, and what you don't want them to do is then fall down on the big night.
Exactly right. You know, it's a big opportunity for all of them, and they are the future of professional boxing, and I think some of these guys are going to become big names next year. We had a great show last September when we did the Magnificent Seven with most of them, and they're back in action, as you said, again tonight, and it is a real opportunity for them to go and make a name for themselves.
James DeGale, arguably the better known name to the wider public in his bout against Paul Smith, but Paul Smith is the champion, and DeGale is going right into the lion's den against 11,000 Liverpudlians.
He certainly is, but he doesn't seem fazed by it. He's only had it's his 9th fight. It's a bit of a real bit of a rush job for him to be doing this at this stage of his career. It doesn't normally happen with heavier weight guys, but he's up for the challenge. He fancies his chances. But Paul is a very, very competent fighter, a great British champion, and he'll have all the crowd behind him. So James has got it all to do, and it's going to tell a lot about his temperament tonight and what he can do in the future. So it's certainly one that I'm looking forward to.
And would James's team be talking to him in advance of it specifically about how to deal with the crowd, how to focus and ignore all that hostile chanting?
Well, he just have to get on with it. You know, he won the gold medal in Beijing, and he was, and I think some of the crowd were against him out there. He went and done a job, so he's used to winning away from home. It's something boxers have to do. You know, you have to lock out and just got focus on what you're doing on the night. It's I suppose no different in some ways than a football team playing away from home, maybe going to play Barcelona if you're Arsenal. It's a tough call, but good fighters can do that and come through it. However, it is a tough call for him. You know, Paul, as I said earlier, is not going to make it easy for him in any shape or form. He's very experienced. He's been 12 rounds on a number of occasions. James never been beyond 5 rounds yet. So the Liverpool Bill takes us into the small hours, and then we look forward to Amir Khan in Las Vegas, and it's hard to understate how vital a night this is for him. It's win and the world's his oyster, lose and he's set back again another year or two. It is for him. He can't afford to slip up tonight. He's in with a guy who's what we call in the trade a real good banger. He's a good puncher, stopped most of his opponents. However, I think that Amir will be too classy for him. I think he'll be too fast for him, and he can make himself look really good tonight. It's a chance again for him to make a statement in Vegas and to the American audience.
I ask a real layman's question here. Is there a danger at all for Amir up against a guy who, as you say, has won 27 of 29 fights inside the distance? Is there a danger that Amir is so concerned about that one possible massive punch that he gets a little bit defensive, doesn't fight his own fight, if you know what I mean?
Well, if he does that, then he'll wind up here getting himself in trouble. You know, he's got to focus on. He's been there before. He got stopped a couple of years ago by Brady Prescott in 1 round. This time round, he's got to really stay focused and do what he's good at doing, which is boxing. You know, and if he manages to stop the guy on the way, that's a fantastic result. But you know, it's like everything like this. You know, you have to take the risk. It's professional boxing. That's what it is. And you know, you've got 2 guys in there and determined to win, and that'll be the case tonight. But I think that Amir will prevail.
And he's a different man now, isn't he, from what he was 2 years ago? He's physically much stronger.
Both physically and mentally he's matured. And you know, he's only 24. He's only 24 last week, so he's still a baby in terms of boxing. He's got a few years left in him yet. But I think that maturity will get him through again tonight, and you know, and I emphasise, you know, he can't afford to slip up. It is a big stage for him tonight in the States to make a real statement before an American audience.
Frank, 30 years you've been in this game. Do you ever think, I mean, you must occasionally think, when do I stop?
Well, not yet. I've still got the enthusiasm. I've got all these youngsters fighting tonight in Liverpool, so someone else will come through, and I hope they'll take me on for another 10 years, and then, you know, when I hit 60, I'll be able to retire.
And if you had to pick one fight of all the fantastic fare that's on offer tonight, one fight, where would you point me towards?
It's very difficult to pick out, you know, the best fight I've been involved with. There's been so many over the years, and it'd be a bit disingenuous to some of the guys that I've worked with. But I suppose, you know, going to Madison Square Gardens with Nassim Hamed when he made his American debut, that was a fabulous night. Frank Bruno winning the world title at Wembley, Joe Calzaghe beating Kessler in Cardiff. I mean, it's been so many of them. I've had a real ball with them all.
Frank, great to talk to you. Thank you very much for braving the clearly freezing cold in Liverpool. Go in and get warm and enjoy tonight.
I won't wear a snood. I'm not a softie.
Frank, thanks very much indeed. Frank Warren with us live from Liverpool. Don't forget, you can follow all that fantastic boxing action. King Khan and the Brit Pack, Sky Box Office Channel 743 from 8 this evening all the way through until practically breakfast time tomorrow. Are you a boxing man, John?
Yes, I used to
You're a bit of featherweight, weren't you?
work with Lennox Lewis at one stage. We actually brought him into the country when we worked with a company. So, yes, and he did quite well, didn't he?
He did fine. We'll